If you can't even get no thank you out, learn to just say, If you got to stutter it out. Woo, no thank you. He refused. Now, it's a shame when Joseph got to tell her about her own man and the reasons why she ought not to do what she's thinking about doing. He said to her, my master doesn't even know what he has in his own house. He says, my master, he trusts me. So he even has respect for the person who has promoted him. He has respect for the person who has put him in a position of power. He has respect for the one who has helped him. Nowadays, folk don't have respect for nobody. You don't even care who helped you get where you are now. We'll walk on top of the same folk. Ooh. All because we want something. He said, my master been good to me. And he's rehearsing in himself. He said, there's nobody greater in this house than me. Maybe that was part of the problem. I don't know what was going on with Miss Potiphar, Miss P. Maybe she wanted to have the run of the house. Maybe she didn't like the fact that her husband had brought somebody in and put him over top of everything when she wanted to be over top of everything. I don't know what was going on. But he said, ain't nobody better or greater than me in this house. And your husband has not kept back anything from me except for you. So, see, sometimes you got to realize just how good God has already been to you. Instead of focusing on what you don't have and where you're not at and what you have yet to acquire, look at how good God has already been. He said, he's been good to me. He said, he hasn't kept back anything from me, and the only thing he kept from me is you. And that's only because you're his wife. How can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? See, I can appreciate Joseph because at least he realizes that what this woman is asking him to do is not a little thing. He recognizes that it is a great wickedness. And I wonder, has that begun to escape us today in the household of faith? That there are certain things that when we embark upon them and we embrace them and we become involved in, whether it's fornication, promiscuity, adultery, that God regards it as a great wickedness. And it is a sin against God. At this point, Joseph's mindset said, this ain't even about Potiphar. But if I do this, because I realize that although Potiphar has been the one who has placed me in positions of promotion, I know that it was God that touched Potiphar. It was God that made Potiphar put me in this place. How am I going to mess up like this? How am I going to do it? He said, and isn't it interesting how the enemy is always willing to offer to us the forbidden and the prohibited. From the beginning, from the Garden of Eden, he causes us not to focus that you can eat of every tree. We don't focus on the every tree. We focus on the except the tree. And so we begin to look at what God says we can't have. And the enemy comes and presents that to us. Has God said? He began to tell Joseph, and he's trying to talk to Joseph, well, as empowered as you are and you all that, you should be able to have Miss P too. You know, well, I mean, if he going to give you the rest of the household, why Potiphar's wife got to be off limits? But Joseph has a standard. He has a love for God that won't let him stray. And that is the subject today. Love won't let me stray. It's love that keeps me on the straight and narrow. It's love that makes me refuse to accept the enemy's offers and temptations. It's the love I have for God that won't let me go back. He recognizes that it just doesn't even make sense for him to do what she is asking him to do. And we see even as we watch Joseph's character in this, we see even that he exhibits even love in his dealing in this situation. He's patient. He's kind. He doesn't go off on her. He just tells her no. He's not jealous or envious of what Potiphar has. He's appreciative of what's already been given to him. And he doesn't look at Potiphar's wife as though she is something for him to covet and to desire. He walks in love. But here she comes. And it came to pass, as she spoke to Joseph day by day. You got some devils that's determined to become a part of your life. You got some devils that's determined they're going to make you fall. They're going to make you slip. They're going to cause you to lose your destiny. They're going to cause you to walk away from purpose. They're going to cause you to walk away from your assignment. Day after day, she just keep on, Joseph, hey, come lie with me. You know who I am. You know what I want. I done made it real plain. I didn't try to cover up anything. Just come on. Joseph, every day. Some of us don't have that kind of resolve. I like Joseph. He must have had a predetermined resolve of how he was going to conduct himself in the affairs of life. And so that it did not matter how much this lady kept on.
Pilgrim Cathedral intercessors are waiting to hear from you. Please call our toll-free number 1-877-241-1221. Again, 1-877-241-1221.
We may not lie with you, but we'll do enough. We have our own little boundaries that we set. And those boundaries are the ones that oftentimes get us in trouble, because we like to try to see, instead of trying to see how far away from the cliff we can stay, we try to see how close we can get to the cliff without falling over. And that's how we involve ourselves in relationships. Well, I'm only going to kiss. Then I'm only going to let him kiss this. Then he can only hold that. And then he can only touch this for 50 seconds. And then I'm only going to do this. Instead of avoiding things altogether, we want to see how much we can do and still call ourselves saved. Woo-woo. And so, see, we got to watch this stuff, because the enemy, all he wants is to get a foothold. All he wants is to get us in the wrong place at the wrong time, and there's not nothing from there to get us to do the wrong thing. And you're not as strong as you like to pretend. I like this about Joseph. He don't even play with this thing. I'm not even messing with this. I'm not going to lay by her. And I ain't even going by her. I'm going to try to avoid her if at all possible. But see, that's not us. We don't walk in that kind of wisdom today.